Once we sailed the 7 seas in the Iranian Navy, with a swagger in the breeze. In the Iranian Navy, we could do as we pleased, hearts full of pride and bravado. Once we arrogantly threatened every nation on the breeze. In the Iranian Navy, oh, raise up your glass and sing it loud and wavy, for the bold and brave sight of our Iranian Navy. From the Gulf to the foam of the Western Sea, we were masters of the tide and the spray. But the wind has turned and the cannon's gone silent. Who now will answer our plea? Once we ruled the raging foam, now we've no fleet to call our own. In the to the wind with our beards so well trimmed. In the Iranian Navy, steel beneath our boots and salt upon our skin. In the Iranian Navy, our friends invited us to Cape Town, proud and free and bold. Sailors on shore leave at Simonstown, stories bought and sold. Naval exercises with our friends from Moscow and Beijing. We already missed the brief fling. Our presence made Arab nations tremble. Our blockade made oil prices treble. All together, the bold, brave, mighty sight of our Iranian Navy. Oh, raise up your glass and sing it loud and wavy, for the roar and roll of the Iranian Navy. From the straits to the storm-lashed quay, we were thunder on the sea. But the dice were cast and the wager played, and pride went down with the fleet. Now we sing in taverns dim and cold of stories grand and growing old. Then the Iranian Navy, our supreme leaders played chicken with the dawn. Now all our ships are gone, rusting at the bottom of the sea. With whom shall we plea? In the Iranian Navy, mighty, no longer sailing a lost dream, we see our song of lament and anger scream. Twisted hoax, a metal lie, billowing flames of despair, and a mighty Iranian Navy is no more. Just smoke upon the air. We want to surrender, we have no future. We can't even get a dinghy in the water. No harbor light, no guiding star, no compass left to steer us far. So raise up your glass and sing it loud and wave, for the ghosts of the Iranian Navy. Though the fleet lies cold beneath the foam, we'll drink to the days we ruled the brine. For once we sailed the 7 seas and did as we pleased. In the Iranian Navy, once we sailed the 7 seas. Ha! Once we sailed the 7 seas. Iranian navies.
We remember the dawn of a rainbow dream, Mandela's smile and a steady stream of hope and growth, and a hand held tight, chasing the shadow. the silver is gone and the lights go low. They're putting on such a vintage show with old school slogans and red star lines, while the rest of us look for better signs. They're biting the hand that helped us grow. It's time for the rogues gallery to go. We saw the ships on the deep blue sea, but that's not the company for you and me. We don't want the mullahs or the iron fist. Give us a friendship we've truly missed. Black, brown, and white, we're standing tall, asking for liberty for one and all. Keep your comrades, we want the bold. We want a story that's paved in gold.
We don't want your commies, no, we don't want your ayatollahs. We want real friends, people who pave the Oval Office in gold. Friends like Trump, bring it on ANC, real friends.
Make new friends, let's turn the page. Step out of the dark and off of the stage. We don't want the gloom or the backroom deal. We want a future that's bright and real. Goodbye to the shadows, hello to the sun. Let's find a party where everyone's one. Peace and love and a proper date. Make new friends. Capitalism looks really great. Make new Democracy is the way to be. A brand new friend for you and me.
Democracy looks really great. Hey, ANC, why don't you give it a try? How about representative government? How about elections that matter, where the people vote for candidates, not for a corrupt party list of criminals that you select to serve in government despite their shortcomings? That's an idea. How about that? Can we change South Africa's constitution to reflect the will of the people? What a concept that would be. What do you say, folks? Can we do it? Can we do it? Yeah. As far as me whipping the flu, no. I'm just putting on a good act here. I'm still feeling pretty cruddy here, folks. Yeah, and it's funny because I was at the Veterans Organization tonight for K9 Veterans Day and did an event there and then went around and took donations to raise for the foundation that provided this, the demonstration this evening to help them out with their service dogs. And a few people said to me, oh, I haven't seen you. I haven't seen me. I've been there every frickin' day this past week. I've been sick and I've been there every time you turn around. It's insane. I find it amazing people I haven't seen you. The people I haven't seen in my audience at night, I haven't been on Wednesday night and Thursday night. I haven't been on. So, or was it just last night? Anyway, yeah. So thanks to those 82 of you who are currently here. I do appreciate you tuning in on a Friday night. 2310 on the East Coast here on the 26th year of this millennium, 27th year technically. 2026 is the 27th year. But welcome back. It's the 13th, Friday the 13th. Yes, and Trump delivered something for Carg Island tonight. What a massive attack. You may be looking behind me and see purple and pink. There's purple on that side and pink on the other side. Come on, there we go. Pink over there. That is my tulips. Went the wrong way there. There we go. God bless it. I can't get it. There we go. There's the pink. There's the pink. There's the purple. And that's the color representing the tulips that will come up out of there. You can see the little green buds there. They'll be growing. The refugee situation improved in Erie, or do you want me to head there? Alex, I haven't got an update on that, so hang tight. Thanks for appreciate you offering to jump in. I don't have an update on that. I do know the gentleman's in a bad situation, but I have been ill and have not been able to really follow up. I have interviews that people ask me to set up. I haven't been able to do that. So yeah, pink and purple, lovely colors that go together, especially when they're pastels like that. Yeah, so those will be tulips popping up here, hopefully sometime soon. This pink one isn't quite far enough over. That's the problem. There we go. There we go. Now we get the pink one over a little bit further so you can see it a little bit better. And let me just move the purple one over just a little more too then. There we go. All right, so both of them you should be able to see a little bit better behind me there if I even out. Anyway, so that's the tulips. People asked me if I put tulips up, so I made a stop. Had to go into the pharmacy and pick up my medication today, and on the way back I picked those up. So yeah, all the flu is whipping me. No, the flu's not whipping me, but it's a standoff. It's a Mexican standoff. Neither one of us are going anywhere. So flu isn't going away, and I'm not getting demonstrably better. But it's one of those ones where it's not a butt kicker, you know. It's just kind of annoying. Super annoying is the problem. Butt kicker, yeah, it really isn't kicking my backside, but it is annoying. So I feel very bad because people are sending emails. I know people want and need things from me, and I haven't been able to get to them. It's just too much energy. I'm going to try to do the rugby tomorrow. Yep. So I'm going to try to do the games on Rugby Ascended, the Bulls and the Stormers, and also the Scotland-Ireland game, and in hopes that Scotland can pull it off. They may not be able to because they screwed up last week and let the French score all those tries late in the game, so they got a bonus point. But if they had not done that, a simple bonus point victory would have won it for them for sure. But whatever the case is, I'm going to give it a shot tomorrow and try to do both those things. And then tomorrow evening, I've got to go in for the veterans events again for the St. Patrick's Day celebration. So I really can't rest. There's something about Sunday. I'm trying to remember if there's something Sunday I had to do. Maybe I can rest this Sunday for the first time in ages. And this is my last week before I have consulting to do, so that's coming up as well. So anyway, Alex in Ohio, good to see you there. AJ Quinn, Emerencia, Rolinda, Second Chance, Trippy, Jean Babijan, Jacques up. Hey, Jack. Hey, Jackie, how's it going? Ingrid, how you doing? Chris Jan Fenta, welcome to you. Chatuz, welcome to you. Trippy, Debbie Ackerman's here. Claire Bear, and Jean Babijan, East Coast Ostrich, Broken Arrow. How's it going, Broken Arrow? Uman Nell, and that's Debbie Jordan, all before we even started. And then Xavier Grayling has popped up since then, John Oberholzer. Amazing Yacht Destinations in from Thailand, and Sedgefield's in from the Garden Route. Cornelie Klopper, just another girl. Yaku van der Walt. ANC needs new friends, I said that, yep. Bad Brads, hey Bad. Jacques T. Herbla, welcome to you. And then, what else? Louise Duplessis, hello. Utopi. And, Pete and Marlene took chances. Yeah, those two, you're talking about the Filions, yeah. Those two bimbos. You can have them back. No, thank you. We don't want them. Grok Matrix, what's up? Let's get people who can have a good time tonight without people messing with me. Earlier today, people were just messing around with me. Friday the 13th, all kinds of silly things. Somebody said something, I don't even remember the little child that was executed. Where did that come from? We weren't even talking about that. All kinds of weird things happening earlier today. What is it? Azagale. What is that? Ronel Enrico. 38th happening on Earth. Hey, Ronel, what's going on? Wirebird. Really wonder what has happened to the SANDF General's promise of military aid, or was it just planes? I don't know. Oh, you mean for Iran? Yeah, I don't think they got any help there. Yeah, they'll send their dinghy. Rian Pretorius would like to ask something. Sure, Rian, it's Night Owls. You can ask your question. It's not a news program. I am going to talk about the U.S. finally taking on the ICJ case, but it's not a news program. It's a chat session. And boys, welcome to you. And Charles Edward Cook. Marguerite, favored. Welcome to you. And all right, so safe in the USA, arrived in Maryland 2 days ago. Oh, Crescendo Inc., welcome to you. You love it here. Whereabouts in Maryland, do you mind? Because Maryland is where I was born. I was born in Baltimore, and Maryland is my original home. Whereabouts? Because I'll be coming to Baltimore for the Springboks game in September. Welcome to America, and welcome to the Old Line State. The Old Line State, that's the nickname. Black-Eyed Susan is the flower for the state of Maryland. The Baltimore Oriole is the bird. And the nickname is the Old Line State, which comes from the Mason-Dixon line, which is the boundary between Pennsylvania and Maryland. So, congratulations. Day 20 without electricity in Vanderbilt Park. Good Lord. How in the heck are they doing production there? Riverdale. That's not real. That's like from Superman, Riverdale. Riverdale, Maryland? Never heard of it. Town in Maryland. Riverdale Park. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Riverdale isn't Superman, man. That's not real. Riverdale Park. Okay. All right. Well, that's barely Maryland. Excuse me. That's almost D.C. So, yeah. Now, it's close to College Park, though. That's a really densely populated area. So, all right. So let me check on someone else. I want to check on someone very quickly and see if they made it. Let me see. Oh, yes, finally. Yay. Cool beans. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. So, cool beans. Good to see that happened. Okay. All right. Wow. Cool. So, wow. 9 o'clock, that finally happened. So, another family united tonight from South Africa, a family that was delayed a few weeks back, and the daughter's been there for a few months without them since December. Oh, Debbie Jordan is in Riverdale Park. What is going on there? That's not my favorite part of Maryland. I mean, that's not really Maryland. It's like D.C. Yeah, but cool. Yeah, my patch is you go directly east of where you're at on Route 50 to Annapolis, and from Annapolis up to Glen Burnie. That's my haunts. Yep. International Criminal Court has no teeth, but, well, I think Iran is a signatory of the ICC. I'd have to double check. I thought that they were. First CWS interview was digital and also asked about my dad's case. An hour later, his interview. That's pretty cool. Sunset in Kansas was insane tonight. My daughter bent down in praise of the site. Wow, South African farm girl in Kansas. Hey, say hello to Nas Bota for me if you don't mind. He's in Kansas. Yep. Let's see what else. Went for an interview at USCIS. They picked up something that happened to the wife when she was 15, 33 years back that's showing it can affect us. Well, that's unfortunate, Rian. Unfortunate. Yep. No, that's the thing. Yeah. So sometimes that doesn't come up in an interview and things like that come up later on. People are like, how come I'm still here? Everybody else left. Everybody else left. Well, there's a reason everybody else left. There's something in your past that's causing their investigation to take longer. Claire Bear says her sister is in Vanderbilt Park too. Just the areas in some of the rural areas without electricity. What's CW? Huh. Ghost Miss Games, day 20. Yep. Nicola, what's going on in Belito, man? Okay. South African numbers are growing here. 25 at the moment. Will be warmer next week. Wow, that's pretty wild. Yeah, no, it's the number's definitely growing everywhere. I don't have current figures, and I'm not getting nearly as many indications from people. Maybe the admonition to keep quiet about your trip. What's this? Hang on a second here. You can create your own rugby. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Wonder if I can change that. All right, so Charles says they're going to Portland. Ugh, jeez. Portland, Maine would be better than Portland, Oregon. A bunch of people just left Portland. My son is in Hoxie, Kansas this year. Says it's beautiful there. Well, I suppose if you like the prairie, it doesn't, I've lived in the Midwest. It doesn't do a lot for me. I used to live in Iowa, folks. I taught at Iowa State University for 2 years. So, with the news article earlier, it's hard to believe Nas is 68. Yeah, I know. I can't believe Nas is 68. That kind of threw me off. I didn't realize he was 68. Yeah. So it's 4 years ago when I interviewed Nas for the first time in person in Bloemfontein. Yep. The South African farm girl, that's the wrong word. Baron like that means like a knight, an estated person. I think you mean a different word, baron. B-A-R-R-E-N, baron. Yeah, Dallas is huge. Dallas-Fort Worth is massive. What's Richmond, Virginia like? Before the Civil War, it was amazing. Since Civil War, it's been kind of ugh. I'm nowhere near Erie, Brad. It is a 5-hour drive, 6-hour drive, 5 hours, 15 minutes to get to Erie with traffic. And if I take the turnpike, it costs me $100 to go there and back. I can go the other way and avoid it, but then I have to ride back country roads for about 45 minutes before I hit the interstate. Erie is a long way from me, but I do intend to go to Erie. That's a plan. If I hadn't been sick right now, I would have gone to St. Augustine, and tomorrow there's a braai in St. Augustine. I would have gone to Florida this week, but I can't spend that kind of money, which would have cost me about $1,500 to go down there just to get everybody sick. So yeah, I'm not doing that. So how's it where? In Erie? Nothing special as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, no, nothing special. This part of Pennsylvania is nice. This is a very nice part of Pennsylvania. We're not burdened by disused coal mines. Lots of rich agricultural land around here. Lots of businesses, industry, medicine. Lots of stuff going on around here. No, Jacques. Portland's not even trouble with protests. That's so long ago. You're way out of the loop. Yeah. But that can pop up at any time. It's a leftist haven. So, yeah, Portland is a lovely place to drive through. Maybe pop in for a visit, but I didn't really care for it. I've been there a couple of times. Portland, Oregon. Portland, Maine's nice. Yeah. So, here we go. My microphone is acting up again. This software is such crap. Why does it change? Light sync. Let's my light sync to be one color. Let's go with let's go with that one. Okay, cool beans. That's too light. That's too dark. There we go. Perfect. All right, so I've changed the color on my microphone. So now it's a blue color. There you go. Sent you a priceless picture. Email, WhatsApp, how did you send it to me? Hey, babyface cutie, what's going on there? Okay, that's me if I shaved this beard, babyface cutie. No doubt about it, folks. No doubt about it. Okay, so Riverdale Park, that's what you guys are talking about. Okay, yeah. Riverdale Park. Well, welcome to America, all those who have arrived recently. Crew in Kalahari, Kansas City, well. Mountain trees. Yeah, well, you can't, it's hard to get mountains, trees, and the ocean unless you live, I guess California will do it for you. Well, Washington State's another place, or, Vancouver, British Columbia. Those are mountains right up next to the ocean. But we don't have mountains right up next to the ocean on the East Coast. You can be in Maryland and be an hour from the mountains and be an hour from the sea if you want, or at least from Chesapeake Bay, yeah, so. Well, yeah, but I can see it. And I used to keep another book here, so it used to be up about here. I used to keep the microphone much higher. I used to keep, I had a mount here, so I've taken that away, so it stays down here. It seemed to me like the microphone way up here was just too much of a distraction, so I lowered it. So anyway, I did that a couple of years ago. So the bouncy weather is heavenly for you. The weather has not been. The weather's been weird this year, but that's not usually how things go. It's been very strange weather this year. Very, very strange, guys. Very strange. I don't know what the deal is. So it's been odd. Very strange situation. We had 50, 60 knot winds today. It was crazy. I saw somebody's, one of those huge, heavy, durable plastic. I mean, these things weigh probably about 30 kilos. Yeah, that's probably what it weighs, the rubbish bin, a recycling bin, so they don't blow away. I saw this thing on a farm road, blown from the guy's driveway on one side across the road into a maize field, another 20 meters. It went about 30 meters distance, blown across there because it was empty. They already collected the recycling. There was some serious wind today. It was wicked. I had to walk around, hold on to my hat so it wouldn't blow away. That's why I missed out on the meat greet last time. Didn't want anybody sick. Yeah, no, it's all right. That's right. It's neither Stormer's blue nor Bull's blue. It's in between the two of them. Stormer's blue is like a navy blue, and the Bull's blue is like a powder blue. That's not quite powder. That's more like a cobalt. That looks more like cobalt to me. Yeah, I think I'm as a tribute, since I got a 1,400 Rand super chat today in support of the Bulls. I think that I'm going to wear my Bulls jersey for the first half of the game in the morning and wear my Stormers for the second half. Hopefully, it goes my way. All right, 30 degrees. Okay, some cold and rain this time of year. Western Cape is frying. What's a sport like for refugees in Virginia? Family riding. Saying, well, favorite, what kind of question is that? It depends on your situation. Everybody's case is different. There's people in Rochester that have had fantastic support. Everyone else has had terrible support. There's people in places that had wonderful support and others that don't. So You know, did you see that there's several NHI pilot hospitals that still operating the pilot program? Yeah, I did say watch Now Health. No, I didn't see that's happening, but I did say watch for it because they're going to try to do it surreptitiously under the law. Because that's what the ANC is good at, breaking the law. The Constitution, they don't care. They just pass laws that are in violation of the Constitution. Hey, Paul Ferrer, what's going on, man? Which Paul Ferrer is that? Is that Paul Ferrer, my friend from Clarence, or is that some other Paul Ferrer? You will feel better when wearing the Bulls jersey. Oh, is that what's going to happen, Will? It's going to make me feel better? Well, if that's the case, I should have put on a week ago. Meantime, I ordered some Amazon tonight, and it's going to arrive between 4 o'clock in the morning and 8 a.m. So when I get up for the game, I would have a package on my front stoop on my porch. Yeah. Winter creeping up on you. Well, spring is here for us. That's why the tulips are behind me. 2 baskets of tulips, and hopefully they look quite lovely here in just a matter of days. Yeah. The grid of chemtrails, and maybe that's why the weather. I'm sure that's what it is, Mike. The chemtrails have been there for 100 years. Yeah. Dion Latkin, hey, Dion, oh my goodness, what's going on, man? Wow, long time no see. How you doing? Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. The real Paul Ferreira, the old Bodafons. So not my friend from Clarence. I haven't seen my friend from Clarence in a long time. I hope he's okay. So the weather's weird because they're reporting a super El Nino is developing. I mean, the Cape. Okay, that could affect all of us. Yep. Yeah, that can definitely affect all of us. Toast, 200 Rand. What's going on, man? Thanks for that. Thank you for the 200 Rand super chat. Thank you for that. Wasn't expecting any tonight. Yeah, how's it going, everybody? Yeah, the tulips. Yep, the tulips are behind me. So I've got some purple ones and some pink ones. So here's the purple tulip. That's the ones there. See, they're pretty good deal for 11 bucks. Yep, 11 bucks. That's the purple. Okay. Here's the pink ones. Also $11. See, there you go. Okay. So, yeah, those will be lovely, hopefully, when they pop up pretty soon. My tulips outside and my azaleas are also coming up. That was pretty cool to see. I love the azaleas. They're pretty cool. The azaleas and the tulips are both coming up. That's some good news outside. I need to get out and cut the elephant grass, and also need to do something about the raspberries. But when I'm feeling ill, I'm really not in the mood to do that. Man, I have a stack of papers here, bills I've paid but need to be filed. And behind me, bills that need to be filed I haven't done for a few weeks because I felt crappy. Too tired to complain, says Babyface. I got you. Yeah, they will be beautiful. I do love tulips. I suppose if I'd been around when the Dutch tulip craze took place, I probably would have gone bankrupt buying tulips. But they only last a short period of time. That's the thing about tulips. Yeah, but they are lovely when they do come up. Yep. Maybe you should put together a survival backpack for all of us to get a lot of weather warnings. You can good profit with knowledge. Oh, look, Broken Arrow, I can make a lot of profit with a lot of things I do. You know, I looked at, you know, some of the things that people do to make money. And I mean, there's so many things I could have done to make so much money. But I mean, while I'd love to have tons of money, that has not been the major motivation. Not been the major motivation. You can get proteas at Denver Flower Market. Okay. Yep. Really? Proteas? Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know we had proteas in America. Proteas are not pretty. I'm sorry. I mean, I like the concept, but they're not a pretty flower. They look like something from the I don't know, from the Jurassic era. You know, they really look ancient style. So, but there are some beautiful blooms in the fembos. Yeah, some lovely stuff out there. So anyway, yeah, no, tulips are nice. It'll be time to cut grass soon. The one elderly uncle told Charles we must take Zicam, quick dissolve for flu. Yeah, you know what? I've heard Zicam works. I wonder about that. Can I buy Zicam? That's you know what? I think Zicam is actually, I should have thought about that. But I don't know what Zicam does. Let me see what Zicam does. Because I've heard about that. Zicam. Cold remedy. Zicam cold remedy. Non-dry spikes, shortened duration of colds if taken. But this is a flu, not a cold. This is a flu, not a cold. So anyway, you can get it from Amazon UK. I don't know if you can get it here. probably prescription like everything else in this country. Almost nothing comes over the counter. Yeah, I got you, just another girl. I mean, sorry, the Proteus aren't that pretty. They aren't. I mean, I know it's a province thing, but they're just not that pretty. But tulips are gorgeous. They really are. And the ones I had here in the studio last year were beautiful, weren't they? They lasted a lot longer than I expected. Yeah. You value people more than money, and many people will look at that as a flaw. Kindness is priceless, Colonel. Well, thank you, Meerkat. I try to value people more than money, and you pay a price for it. You pay a price for it. Try the Trump RX. Yeah, Walmart has it. Okay, I didn't know that. Will, thanks. Yeah, it's whatever. It's you do the best you can in this life. Tulips, daffodils, bluebells. Bluebells are lovely. They really are. Bluebells are lovely. But daffodils are not daffodils. Azaleas are lovely too. Yep. The tulips are cool because they come in bulbs. But the problem with the bulbs is that I had the frickin' not moles. I had the voles here a couple of years ago, and little bastards ate all my tulip bulbs. Little pricks. Got rid of them eventually, but don't know if there's any more of them. Hopefully not this year. I haven't seen any trails. It's the area's becoming a little less wild with the additional field torn up, and it kind of makes it a little further. But we still have fox running around here, and still have deer running around. Yeah, I haven't seen any groundhogs. They're kind of staying away from here now. But and the rabbits are still floating around. I've seen the rabbit a couple of times. So, yep. I think KZN is going to get winter rain. We've been too dry. Yeah, well, KZN, you got to be careful. People living in those floodplains get themselves washed away. Emerus. Okay, Red Golden Peach. That's lovely. And thank you, Sumari, for your 7 months membership. At platoon leader level, no less. Thank you for that, Sumari. Marquis Pretorius. I never did get the question. Someone's going to ask me a question earlier. Was someone named Pretorius? What was the question? Let me go back and see if I missed it. I don't think I missed the question. I'm looking. Someone said they wanted to ask me a question, and I said, go ahead. And then they never asked the question. Or I missed it. Oh, is a refugee interview coming up? Well, there should have been 2 this week, but I've just not been well. So I've got a few refugees. I've got about 3 or 4 refugees stacked up waiting to do interviews. So, yeah. Yeah. So, yes, there will be. I can't do it when I'm so distracted. I'm making mistakes. I don't make mistakes. It's frustrating. I'm making mental mistakes and not paying attention to things, and my focus isn't 100%. So it's when you multitask, you do multiple things simultaneously, and then you're down with the flu or something like this, and it distracts your mental focus. You become human, and you become like most other people, and you can't execute 10 things simultaneously. Normally, I can execute 10 things simultaneously. Just can't do that right now, and I'm making silly mistakes. I can't find where I put my headphones at. I have no idea where I left the damn things. I had them yesterday. I just can't figure out where I left them at. So yeah, and I don't like to make mistakes, and so plus you need the rest, so it's just frustrating. Yeah, anyway. Unabridged birth certificate. Well, I don't know why you're waiting on it. What are you waiting on it for, Rion Pretorius? You don't need it to apply. Have you already applied? I'm looking to see if I saw that. I still don't see where I might miss a question. I don't think I missed a question. I'm looking again. I want to make sure I miss anybody's question. So, especially at night. That's when people can ask their questions. I don't see it. Anyway. Harley Quinn, what's going on? Groundhogs, earth pigs. Aardvark. No, an aardvark is not a groundhog. An aardvark is a different creature. 40 aloes, my shed collapsed, and I've been growing there 4 years. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. Well, Goodell, hello, Renell. How's it going? Dad had green fingers. I inherited his plants. One house plant's 42 years old. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, it's nonsense, Rion. See, that's another thing. I have to make a video on that. The good news is that Ernst Funsell did a written story about it, but I will do a video about it. I've intended. So I'm going to be way behind. If other people make videos ahead of me and write things, that's fine. But, I mean, I just don't feel well enough to focus on it. But that's just poppycock. That whole thing is utter balderdash. There aren't South Africans going back to South Africa. There's always South Africans going back to America. And there's always South Africans leaving. This is a fairy tale lie. First off, none of them are refugees. There's no evidence of a single refugee going home. That's the first thing. Second thing is they take comments from one person who's been in America for 20 years and they're going home. Well, good for them. That has nothing to do with the refugee program. It's just, look, it's all nonsense. I've seen the stories. They're being spread around, and every time you turn around, the number gets larger and larger. It's all lies, and it's shameful. It's shameful that people get away with that stuff. They have platforms to lie to people like News 24 and others. It's crazy. Yes, Leslie, as of right now, they're okay. We've got a group together that's working on that in Utah. The spouse, I haven't disclosed the name because I didn't get permission. I didn't ask for that because I didn't think anybody really need to know. The family members who might be affected, might be in South Africa, would have been contacted by the family, so it was inappropriate for me to announce it on the air. People kept asking me for the name. I'm not going to give the name out unless they give permission to give the name out. But that family, she has a place to stay and changes clothing now, and she's got some help with food. So she sent me a note, was very grateful, and I'm very grateful to the folks in the Wyatt Army who mobilized. Yep. So, okay. Okay, so I'm going to avoid using the person's name and give you an update here. So, amazing South Africans. Donations and clothing received today have been delivered. She went shopping at Winco with a voucher, got to experience Utah's awesome Winco. Winco is a grocery store in Utah, I believe. Tomorrow they're picking her up for some more necessity shopping. Husband is scheduled for operation early next week. No date confirmed yet. Accommodation has been arranged for the wife. And then, okay, so so Antoinette is involved here, and the South African Ladies Group is involved, so they jumped in. Okay, also a little belated birthday gift. Wow, it was her birthday. Okay, I didn't know that was her birthday. Looking for food vouchers. Only one plate of food is provided in the hospital. Okay, all right. So, yeah. Yeah, let me do something here very quickly here. Okay. All right, so I just sent her a note wishing her a happy birthday. I must be able to get better. You can do all your different videos later. You do sound much better, but you can hear you're not quite there. No, I'm not quite there right now. Stats they use warning for the relevant period of time to clear up. Exactly. And people fall for it, Meerkat. They fall for it. They just fall for it. People see stuff in the media and they just believe it. They believe anything. The lies that Bianca spews, they just believe it. And then they take a factoid and they distort it and lie about it. Like when I wrote the video, I did the video outside the Veterans Organization, which I didn't attack the gentleman who claimed to be Thea's husband because I don't know who he is. But I said whoever that person is a liar because I know for a fact that the spouse stalked her and followed her to Kempton Park and then walked into the hotel and caused a ruckus, which forced U.S. security officials to get involved. And we have witnesses to that fact, including other refugees. And so that person lied when interviewed on a WhatsApp phone call and said that, well, no, I didn't even know she left the country. The first time I heard that she left the country is when I saw that she was on the news. She landed in America. I saw her on camera. I didn't even know she left here. That's a lie because the person that is her spouse was in Kempton Park before she flew and knew that she was flying to America. So, see, the problem is that people just believe whatever bullshit they hear. Yeah. Anyway, I saw the end of the Biz News interview with Brian Bozell. I watched all of Xavier. Oh, I haven't heard from Chris Sten, have I? Okay. With this medical setback, it's going to be hard for them to get back to their feet. The husband must be worried as well as wife. Yes and no, Meerkat. Actually, maybe not. Let me explain why. First off, they're not going to pay for any of this, I don't believe. I mean, this should all be covered under Medicaid. I could be wrong, but if I'm correct, then they're not going to have to pay for it. Now, I may be wrong, but if that's true, then what's going to happen is that the refugee money that would have been burned for them staying in a hotel, they'd already been in a hotel for 2 weeks, that stops. They're no longer spending any of the money for them. So now, hopefully, their case officer's looking for a place for them to live. And then once the operation's over and he's recuperated, hopefully they can go back and they'll have a place to live. And then, we'll see where it goes from there. Yeah, it's not ideal. It's definitely not ideal. But this is unfortunately the nature of life, folks. This is life. People come, people go. Fortune and misfortune befall people all over, everywhere, every day. Sadly, people have traffic accidents. That reminds me. What about the lady who was shot? Yeah. Wait a second. How can that possibly be true? There we go. Okay. All right. So the lady who was shot right before they're supposed to fly, she's walking and talking. Yep. So that's really good news. Really good news. Remember the lady who was shot in the Pretoria area just before they were due to fly? On Friday, she was shot in the morning, and the Tuesday they were supposed to fly. So she's walking, she's talking. She's going to have to go through rehab. I don't know what damage is done to her, but that's some really good news. Price of electricity is 11 cents kilowatt hour. That's 11 cents kilowatt hour. Must be nice. It's 18, 19 cents kilowatt hour here. That is amazing news, Meerkat. It is. So we have good news on the heart attack front in Utah. We have good news on the shooting situation in Pretoria. But we still have other folks who are in need. Yes, no, Mish Devanaga, I was on that like white on rice. I got word to the U.S. government, so they were aware of that, so that they didn't lose their place, and then I put the family directly, I put the government directly in touch with the family, so that they could square that away. So that's been known since the beginning. USCIS is well aware of it. They're in touch with them periodically, and they've rescheduled their flights. They delayed it. I think like 60 days initially. They might have to a little bit longer because she's going to have to go through some rehab. But yeah, so no, that's see, these are all the things that we do that nobody knows about. We don't see the Biancas and the others doing this stuff. We see Shirley Hepburn doing a little bit of this to help people, so that's kind of her to do that. But we do this in no compensation. We reach out, we find accommodation, we find food for people, we intervene, we report. By the way, I understand that the agent who treated the folks in Rochester so abysmally has been sacked for Church World Services in Rochester. I have it on good authority that she has been sacked and no longer works there. I don't know if that's true. I can't confirm it, but I do have sources who tell me she was fired for what she did, and a new case officer's reached out to people trying to make it right. But you're not going to be able to make it right, Church World Services. Your abysmal behavior and being disrespectful and rude to me, I made it possible for you people to exist, giving up 36 years of my life supporting and defending the Constitution, and your treatment was abysmal. It was disrespectful, and it's unacceptable. All I did was seek to get you to do your damn job, and instead you treated me abysmally. That is not acceptable. Not acceptable. And your treatment of the refugees is beyond pathetic. And your failure to address these things until I turned into a news story is disgraceful. Had you done your job, none of this ever would have happened, and these people wouldn't have suffered in the fashion they did. But see, these are the things people don't know about that we do all the time. All the time. Now, we aren't able to answer the call for everyone because, frankly, it's become a full-time job and it's not a compensated job. So, you do what you can. It's not, but he's going to get proper medical care in America on his heart attack here. So, what do you mean it's not? I probably would be waiting on the floor for 2 days. We probably would have been dead in South Africa because he's white. One of the South Africans fell off her electric scooter, and during the scan, they found cancer in the kidneys. Oh, look, Utopia. I mean, the list goes on and on. You guys, I'm sorry, this is not an attack on South Africans. You guys are broken. You are so broken. ALS, cancer, cervical cancer, prostate cancer. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. The South Africans come over here. So many have these life-altering things. I mean, I've lived all over the world, and knock on wood, I haven't had to deal with these things. It's just insane. It's absolutely insane how many medical problems the South Africans have. Oh, no, it's not good that it happened, Charles. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. That's why I was trying to understand what you wrote. No, it's not good that it happened, but thankfully, if it was going to happen, better that it happened in Twin Falls than in Bloemfontein. Absolutely. I mean, he was taken to hospital. He survived taken to hospital in not Twin Falls, Boise. In Boise, they got a university there. Boise State's there. They've got good medical care, but they medevaced him because the cardiologists are so much better in Salt Lake. So yeah. We have a great warrior trying for us in the asylum route. Well, my fingers are crossed for you, but it's I don't want to go down that route and talk about that, but yeah. Just another girl says, I don't think people have any idea of everything you do behind the scenes, Colonel. No, they don't. Also, I mean, look, I'm not looking for any pat on the back here, but I do take money out of my pocket on more than one occasion here. So, but I'm not alone. South Africans do that. They help. They've really pitched in. It's fantastic. But it's just so sad to see people be so abusive when you just help people, you know. I did the same thing when I lived in Africa. I help people all the time. Our black retired nurse neighbor had a stroke, called the ambulance 40 times. They just don't pick up the phone. Did she survive, Meerkat? Terry says, Chris, give them a chance to redeem themselves by helping me with my permanent resettlement bar. I would qualify for it. Well, Church World Services has no say in your resettlement bar, and I don't know what that is, Terry. Is this the same Terry who sent me, was it a WhatsApp message or an email? No, a text message maybe. I think it's a WhatsApp from a strange country code. Is that the same Terry? There's a couple Terry Barkhausens here, so I'm not sure if you're the same one. Love your Iranian Navy song. Thank you, Early Bird. Church World Services has nothing to do with bars. They have no say in who comes into the country. That's U.S. Customs Immigration Service. Only they can decide who comes into the country. And they've done a piss poor job of it. Look at all these idiots, these Islamist, fascist, Nazis, naturalized citizens who are murdering Americans left and right. You know, in Old Dominion, murdered an Army lieutenant colonel, a black man, murdered him, shot him dead. ROTC instructor. I used to be an ROT instructor at Iowa State University 30 years ago. 1995 to 97, I taught at Iowa State University. Exact same thing that lieutenant colonel is doing now, but I did it as a captain. Unbelievable. 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 Murdered him. 600 combat hours flying Iraq and Afghanistan. Murdered by some scumbag who never should have been in this country from Sierra Leone. The other guy in Michigan came here on a tourist visa in 2000 and never left. And then got married to an American in 2006. What the hell is that bullshit? He should have been barred from citizenship or even a visa when he applied for a marry visa. He spent 6 years here on a tourist visa. It's a criminal. Should never have been here. And then they naturalized this pig, and he tries to murder people. Good Lord. Pat Radford, excuse me. Thank you for your tireless work. Help us out. I appreciate it. You're very welcome. Yes, Terry. Well, CWS has nothing to do with that, man. I'll have to go back and read your message because I didn't get the bar thing. I'll have to go back and look at that again. Again, my head's fuzzy, so I can't focus. That makes it hard to do analysis. She died a week later after 6 hours when the children had enough money for a private ambulance. Good God. That's horrible, Meerkat. Yes, Colonel, what the South African ANC has done in South Africa the last 20 years, stress and fear, persecution takes its toll, constant mental assault in the body takes the knocks. Yep. Yep, 100% on that. CBB, you're here. You're a mod. Royden says, I'm sounding better. Well, thank you. I don't feel a whole lot better. Your son said in the beginning, convert everything back to rand. Learn quick and not do that. Otherwise, you won't ever eat. Yeah, don't do it. A large pizza Domino's, $23. You convert to rand, it's roughly 360 rand. Yep. They can help with a referral to US RIP based on what I'm going through. I'm not sure they can. First off, they have to be operating in the country that you're in, and I'm not aware that they're there. But I can look around. Grade Made says, okay. You got a problem, Grade Made? Is there a reason why you're typing the same thing twice? The first one's going to get removed. Would you like me to talk about that now, Grade Made? I don't know who the hell you are. No one's even asked a question about it. It's night owls. Would you like me to talk about it now? Would you like me to talk about it now? You should have said something earlier. She trained most ICU nurses in state hospitals. Good one, mother. It's a shame. Yeah, it's a shame. So, Grade May wants me to talk about the bogus ANC ICJ case. But I'll wait to hear back from Grade May before we go any further, because no one else seems interested in the topic. Obviously, new to the channel, for Night Owls, we don't just put Night Owls up there. We put a topic, and at some point during the evening, I talk about it. Sometimes at the beginning, sometimes in the middle, sometimes later on. It's as simple as that. I interact with my audience, and that's what we're doing here. So, great, man, I'm waiting. Do you want me to talk about it? You're not saying anything. If you want me to talk about it, then I'll talk about it. But let me have a request. Otherwise, we'll continue on. It's an informal session. That's correct. That's, yeah. Hey, Leona, what's going on? And sometimes we just talk about anything Lecca. That's true. Wisest thing you ever said. What's that quote, Jock? It's okay, Grey Mate. That's why okay, so the Night Owls, okay, Grey Mate, I give the Night Owls a title so that people will come look at it later on. And sometimes there's a lot in it. Sometimes it's just one item. So we'll get to that now, okay? And that's a fair point, Grey Mate. That's why I asked you. But you don't need to type the same thing twice, okay? That's why I deleted the first one. Okay, let's talk about that, folks, because that's the bottom line. So the United States has sat on the sidelines ever since. Now let's roll back the clock here, okay? Not a single country ever took any country to the International Court of Justice. You have to understand the ICC and the ICJ. No reason to apologize, Grey Mate. I'm just asking. Okay, so the ICC is the International Criminal Court. It's based on the Rome Statute, which is a treaty signed by many countries, but not Russia, not Ukraine, not the United States, not Israel, and not a handful of other countries, because it didn't protect politicians and military personnel. And it was going to be used as a way to go after people in the West, which is how it's been used. So, although African countries claim it's going after Africans, no, it's gone after people in the West. So, the ICC was a voluntary thing to go into. The International Court of Justice is essentially like a UN court. That is where states resolve disputes. In Africa, the Sududu Island in the Okavango, in the Chobe River, was a disputed island between sandbar, really between Namibia and Botswana. The ICJ heard the case and awarded the island to Botswana. Sududu Island was awarded Botswana, and Namibia agreed to that. They accepted that. Another case in Africa was the Bokassa Peninsula between Cameroon and Nigeria. The court awarded it to Cameroon, even though the people who live there are Anglophone, and Cameroon is a Francophone country, because of historical precedence where the boundary was. So that's two cases. Another ICJ case, International Court of Justice, was a court case against Chinese communists for the ridiculous 9-dash line, which they claim millions of square kilometers of sea space nowhere near China, claiming the 9-dash line is historical boundary. There's no such boundary. It never existed. It's just a fantasy on a map that someone drew 400 or 500 years ago. It's utter bullshit. But the Chinese claim it, and they've been destroying natural reefs and killing sea life and building islands and ports and naval bases in the middle of the sea so they can harass the Vietnamese, the Filipinos, Americans, Japanese, Taiwanese, Indonesian, and international shipping. And they are criminals. We were told to leave it, and they refuse. So they refuse to adhere to the ICJ. And these, of course, are friends of the ANC, the Chinese communists, the same people who illegally invaded, occupied, and annexed Tibet, an independent country. And of course, their friends in the ANC then barred the Dalai Lama from coming to South Africa on two different occasions. Once for the birthday of his friend, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, for his 80th birthday, and also for a racism conference. They barred the Dalai Lama from coming to an anti-racism conference. Anyway, so that's the ICJ. South Africa never charged any country with genocide under the ICJ. The first country to ever try this was in 2019. The novel approach was taken by the Gambia, a state in West Africa which has no legal standing. Nonetheless, they went to the ICJ and charged Myanmar with a genocide against the Rohingya. The Rohingya are an ethnic Muslim minority that live in Myanmar and next door in Thailand. So they took the court case. South Africa's ANC never became a friend of the court. They never joined the case. But 7 other countries have joined, including the United Kingdom and a handful of others, have joined the case against Myanmar. Now, that case finally came up this year after 6 years of dithering around. South Africa's had 6 years to join that case if they cared about genocide. But they don't care about genocide. After a trip to Tehran, now Lady Pandor came back to South Africa, and suddenly South Africa filed a case against Israel over Gaza, claiming it's a genocide. It's a bogus case. There's no genocide. A genocide is an effort to wipe a people out. There's no effort to wipe the Palestinians out. If there were, they'd still be killing them. And they would have attacked Jordan, where there's more Palestinians than anywhere else in the world. They would have also killed the 1.8 million Palestinians living in Israel. They would have gone after the Palestinians living in Kuwait. So this is poppycock. There's no effort to wipe out them as a people. First off, they're Arabs. There's no such thing as a Palestinian. They're just Arabs. And there's no effort. There's hundreds of millions of Arabs. So there's no effort to wipe out the Arabs. Just bogus. So finally, today, well, actually March 12th, the United States, 4 countries in total, 3, Fiji, the United States, and Hungary, filed letters to the ICJ to intervene in this case, all in favor of ending this case. Namibia, carrying the water for its communist friends south of the border, joined ostensibly to protect South Africa's bogus case against it. I have coverage on that now. So let's take a look at that. Jesus was not an Arab. He was the son of God. He was a Jew. The U.S. intervenes in South Africa's case against Israel, says the Gaza war is not genocide. Correct. That would be correct. The United States has filed an application to intervene in South Africa's case at the International Court of Justice, which accuses Israel of genocide against Palestinians in Gaza, asserting that the allegations are false and part of a broader campaign to delegitimize Israel. The U.S. argues that determining genocide requires understanding the context of armed conflict, where civilian casualties do not necessarily indicate genocidal intent. Correct. Intent must be there. Several countries, including Hungary and Fiji, have also filed submissions with differing views on the interpretation of genocide, while the Netherlands and Iceland advocate for a broader interpretation considering human rights violations. To avoid any doubt, the United States affirms in the strongest terms possible that the allegations of genocide against Israel are false. They are also, unfortunately, nothing new. Yep. They went on to say that the international forum, including UN General Assembly, have for decades been abused as part of a broader campaign to delegitimize the state of Israel and the Jewish people and to justify and encourage terrorism against them. Sadly, that effort remains ongoing. Only days after Hamas launched its assault of mass rape, murder, and kidnapping on October 7th, pro-Hamas actors, including the Islamic Republic of Iran, were already falsely charging Israel once again with genocide. Before Israel even invaded Gaza, Iran charged Israel with genocide before they even crossed the border. South Africa, hours later, simply weeks after they crossed, did the same thing. There appears, let's see what else I got here. The U.S. submission argues that in order to determine whether actions constitute genocide, the court needed to take into account the context in which the acts constituting the acts reus of genocide were committed in order to determine the aim pursued by the authors of those acts. That, it said, is paramount in a situation of armed conflict where acts may fall within the definition of genocide as per the convention may occur without the requisite genocidal intent. Civilian casualties, even widespread civilian casualties, are not necessarily probative of genocidal intent, particularly when they occur in the context of an armed conflict involving urban combat. Yep. U.S. submission contends the law of armed conflict not only recognizes the possibility of civilian harm, but permits it so long as the relevant principles of discrimination and proportionality are met. South Africa lodged its application in December of 2023. 6 weeks after Israel invaded Gaza. The number of nations now intervening is 22, with submissions on Friday by the U.S., Hungary, Fiji, and Namibia. Well, actually on Thursday. It was on Thursday. It's now Friday now, but it was Friday for South Africans, but on Thursday. Of the three, only Namibia appeared to support in South Africa's contention Israel had been committing genocide. Hungary, whose right-wing government has aligned itself with the Trump administration. Funny how they don't say Namibia, whose left-wing communist government rules and is in league with the ANC. Why don't they call them a left-wing communist government? That's what SWAPO is. It's a communist government. What do you mean that's the number of nations at war, 22? What are you talking about, nations at war? Iceland is not at war. The Netherlands are not at war. What are you talking about? South Africa and Namibia are not at war. Well, South Africa's government's at war with its citizens, but that's a whole different story. That's internal. I'm not sure what you're getting at there, Great Maid. Right, so here's where, currently worldwide. I don't know the number of nations currently involved in war around the world. Myanmar is in a war. International Court of Justice, March 13th. That's a Thursday, not a Friday. The Hague, 13 March. On Thursday, 12 March, Namibia, the United States of America, Hungary, and Fiji each filed in the registry of the court a declaration of intervention under Article 63 of the statute of the court in the case concerning application of the Convention on the Prevention of Punishment on the Crime of Genocide in the Gaza Strip. All right, so here is the ICJ's website in The Hague, and over here is where the news release was on the 12th. These are the declarations of countries who've intervened: Colombia, Libya, Mexico, Spain, Turkey, Chile, Maldives, Cuba. Keep on going down here. You'll find the Netherlands, Iceland, Namibia, and the United States right there. This is the declaration by the United States, submitted on the 12th of March. It is 19 pages in length, submitted by Ambassador Joseph Popolo, who is the ambassador to the ICJ. Or to the Kingdom of Netherlands, excuse me, and the registrar. Yeah, so he's with the Netherlands, and he's with the registrar of the ICJ. So, yeah, he covers both. And Marco Rubio put a cover letter on this. He appointed Reed Rubenstein, the legal advisor of the Department of State, as agent for the United States, and Ms. Allison Welcher, legal counsel of the Embassy of the United States, as deputy agent. So that's who'll be working on behalf of the United States in this case. And they go on. That's page 4 already. So like I said, 19 pages. We'll get down to the conclusion portion down here at the end. They include signed by Ronald Reagan and George Shultz. That's where the United States signed this treaty. Yep. Yeah, 1986, 2/3 of senators. So this wasn't ratified by the United States until 1986 under Reagan, under Republicans. This human rights thing wasn't even signed by anybody until Republicans signed 1986. It's the convention was signed by on behalf of the United States on December 11th, 1948. That would have been by Truman, but it took the Senate of the United States by resolution on February 19th, 1986. 2/3 of the senators present concurring therein gave its advice, consent, and ratification of the convention, subject to a couple reservations. But yeah, so anyway, so they recognized in 1986, even though it was signed in 1948 by the United States. And the conclusions here by the United States is essentially, it's long. I'm not going to read all of it. The United States submits to the court should maintain its standard for inferring intent. Lowering the standard risks broadening the application of the term genocide such that it no longer carries its original weight and meaning, and invites attempts to misuse the Genocide Convention as a gateway for bringing extraneous disputes before the court, which is exactly what this is, an extraneous dispute for which South Africa has no standing. The United States recognized the convention specifically contemplates genocide occurring in times of war, which suggests that a perpetrator may pursue a military objective while also having the intent to destroy the group in whole or in part. As the court has held repeatedly, however, the applicable standards demand that the only reasonable inference from such conduct be that the perpetrators acted with genocidal intent. That is what the precedent says. That's what the treaty says. If it might reasonably be inferred from a pattern of conduct that the perpetrator acted without such intent, the standard has not been met, and that is the case. The standard has not been met in this case, and it is a bogus, extraneous legal dispute for which South Africa has zero standing. Zero standing. Yep. It doesn't matter whether a government exists or doesn't exist. The court will still make a decision. So, Mish Devanaga, of the 4 countries that filed their intent to intervene, 3 are against South Africa: Hungary, the United States, and Fiji. And Namibia is in support of South Africa today. Of the 22 countries, the majority of them are in support of South Africa. But they're mostly leftist European and minor countries. In addition, it's well established that intent requires more than mere knowledge. Not only does the ordinary meaning of intent support such a conclusion, but the preparatory work of the Genocide Convention confirms it as well. In the course of drafting the convention, the states proposed language such as "with the purpose of," "aimed at," and finally, "with intent to ensure only perpetrators with a certain mens rea were found to have committed genocide." These proposals evince a shared understanding from its inception that genocide requires a mens rea beyond knew or should have known. Exactly. The bottom line here is that they've all filed it. So, in the interest of full disclosure, I've brought you along the Namibian case as well. This is Namibian case, 26 pages long, filed on the same date. And their conclusions are on page 24. So let's just jump down there. Page 24. Page 24. That's their conclusion. For the foregoing reason, Namibia avails itself of the right to intervene in proceedings. So they want to intervene, basically. Namibia draws the court's attention to one additional point in relation to whether a state has complied with its obligation to punish direct and public incitement to genocide. It is true the investigation and prosecution of criminal offenses can take some time, particularly where there's an evidentiary or other practical complexity in relation to investigating the offense. In the general sweep of cases, however, these complexities do not arise for direct or public incitement to commit genocide. The statements will be public and in many cases have been published in print or online or recorded. The offense is discrete and precisely defined and raises in the core case no issues of complex assessment, wrongful intent. So it's not clear if Namibia actually supports South Africa in this. It's a little vague. But based on the text that comes before that, it seems to me like they're supporting South Africa's case because they're going on and on about, derogatory language and things like that. The Netherlands and Iceland joined South Africa's case against Israel. So, Iceland and Netherlands have asked to join South Africa's genocide case against Israel. They joined 16 others. So there's 22 countries, which means the other 6 are opposed. And here's the Declaration of Intention from Iceland, 24 pages long. Their conclusions on page 19. Iceland observes the compromissory clause expressly includes within the remit of the court's jurisdiction disputes relating to the responsibility of a state for genocide or for other acts enumerated in Article 3. The court has held that any state party to the Genocide Convention may invoke the responsibility of another state party, including through the institution of proceedings before the court with view. That's just all legal speak. Yeah. And then here we have Hungary's determination. This one's 14 pages, much more succinct. On the 29th of December 2023, Republic of South Africa initiated proceedings against the State of Israel, alleging violations by the latter of its obligations under the 48 Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, to which both South Africa and Israel are contracting parties. Yep. Anyway, Hungary, as a contracting party, has direct interest in the construction that may be placed before the court in relevant provisions of the Convention. Therefore, Hungary has decided to avail itself of its right conferred upon it by Article 63 to intervene in the proceedings. Hungary considers it important that when interpreting the Genocide Convention, the spirit of the Convention with the crime of genocide being the exceptional gravity has to be taken into account. The nature of the Convention can be derived from the very fact that it was elaborated as a consequence of the Holocaust, a crime of unimaginable proportions. This spirit, as reflected in the Travaux Préparatoires, serves as the basic context for interpreting the Convention. Hungary also deems it important that the circumstances of such case be examined. In this context, it is crucial to recall that Hungary unequivocally condemned and continues to condemn the heinous terror acts perpetrated by Hamas against Israel on 7 October. Israel was subject to a grievous, savage terrorist attack which trampled Israeli sovereignty underfoot and which had a major impact on the whole world. The terrorist organization Hamas murdered civilians, taking and keeping hostages, and firing indiscriminate rockets at urban centers, which all constitute serious violations of international humanitarian law. Hungary stands up for the Israel sovereignty, its right to self-defense, and the security of all Israeli people. When interpreting the Genocide Convention, it cannot be dismissed that the circumstances referred to in the current case are during an armed conflict, where a non-state actor, the terrorist organization Hamas, has consequently been using civilian infrastructure, families, and children as human shields. The acts of Hamas need careful examination when taking into account civilian casualties and the relevant consequences that these actions might have on the fulfillment of obligations of international humanitarian law. Well said, and Hungary just gets it right up front. They get it right up front. There's no pussyfooting around here. So there you go. That's the bottom line here. So these are the actors intervening in the case. 22 states now have intervened and stuck their nose into this, and that's frozen. Okay. Why am I frozen here? Okay, try to reload it. The screen was frozen over there. Does that mean I'm not broadcasting anymore? Possible. Well, that's not reloading. Isn't that special? I wonder if I'm even still live. It says I'm still live, YouTube. Let's see if it's true. Come on, YouTube. Are we there? Okay. I hope this Board of Peace addresses this stuff, the ICJ stuff, the UN, these bodies are corrupted. Why these nations follow this propaganda? They don't have their own intelligence. They don't fall for it. They just use it for their own means. That's the bottom line. Thank you, Broken Arrow. Yeah, they don't fall for it. They just use it for their own means. Daily Maverick looks to have Reedy Talibi giving advice to Brent Bozell. Okay, let me look at the Daily Maverick and see what Reedy Talibi has to say. She could just shut her mouth. Yeah, U.S. intervenes in Israel's genocide case. Reedy Talibi has advice for America's new ambassador. Yeah, I'm sure she does. Drawing her own experience living abroad, she offers 4 tips on what it means to enter a new society as guest. Well, Reedy Talibi has no experience as a diplomat, so she can shut her cake hole. She doesn't know what she's talking about. I've been a diplomat in a dozen countries. She doesn't know what she's talking about, so she can just keep her cake hole shut. Yeah, I'm not going to watch that. The fact that Daily Maverick entertains such vapid idiocy is just comical. Yeah, someone can bring a case against the ANC. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised the United States is formulating a case against the South African government for its racism. Yeah, no, the racism. Yep. Is there a racism convention? Let's see if there is. International Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Racism. Yep. 1965. Yep. There you go. So, yep. 5 articles. So, right to equal treatment before tribunals and other organs administering justice. That's not something South Africans get. The right to security of person and protection by the state against violence or bodily harm, whether influenced by government officials or an individual group or institution. So that's not happening. Right to freedom of movement and residence within the border of the state. They try to bring treason charges against South Africans who traveled abroad. So that's not being upheld. The right to nationality, the right to marriage, the right to own property, as well as other in association with others. That's being abrogated by the Expropriation Without Compensation Act. The right to inherit, the right to freedom of thought, consciousness, religion. That's being abrogated by the South African government. The right to freedom of peaceful assembly, right to form and join trade unions, right to housing, right to education and training, right to equal participation in cultural activities. Equal participation in cultural activities. That's being abridged too. Yep. So, 9 articles, 11 articles, 13, 14, 15, 17, 19, 25 articles. 25 articles. The convention, of which the Chinese, English, French, Russian, and Spanish texts are equally authentic, shall be deposited in the archives of the United Nations. 1965. The convention is older than I am by 4 days. International Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination, which South Africa is in violation of. I know that things aren't going to change this country soon, but that doesn't mean we can't make it difficult, okay? Yeah. Teresa thinks I'm feeling better. I guess. I don't feel much better. Okay, Leslie's still in South Africa. Grave Maid said amen, I guess, for me reading that case. Okay. All right. I think I've caught up with all the chat here. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm practicing my American. Is there a difference between cake hole and pie hole? No. It's the same thing. Cake hole and pie hole are the same thing. Utopi. Utopi, I'm young. I'm 39. 39, buddy. 39. See what the video was that Madami's wife likes. No, I've heard about that, but I haven't. I've been so busy working and going to the pharmacy, and and then at the the Veterans Organization tonight for K9 Veterans Day, and then doing this tonight that I haven't seen. I've heard that, but I haven't seen. Apparently, Mamdami's wife cheered the attacks on Jews, and then he said he loves his wife. This guy's a scumbag, The fact that he's in the mayor of New York City shows you that this country is on the verge of collapsing too. Thank God Trump came back. Man as old as the woman he feels. Who told you? You're going to get in trouble in San Diego, my friend. Be careful grabbing women on the beach, man. Salvador is one big corrupted country. Crime is worse. No one can do anything. People come from borders like fully. Yeah, Pete Snayman, you got a point there, man. You got a point there. Lauren says, you are busy. Can you please answer my email sent 15th February? I have no idea, Lawrence. It's not a question of busy. I'm sick. I appreciate people recognizing I'm busy, but the issue isn't busy. The issue is ill. I'm very ill, and I can't think clearly. Answering people's emails is not the top of my list. So I will look for Lauren's and see if there's a Lauren's in my email box. I've got hundreds of messages piled up this week that I have not gotten to. And when I type Lauren's, I found your message. Okay, 14 February, not 15 February. That's when I received it. Okay, I'm going to have to look at this again later on, Lawrence, because it's too complicated and I don't want to disclose your personal information here. 6 days ago, a black man threatened to shoot me while I was digging at a dirt pile looking for food for my praying mantis. Jeez. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy. Yeah, Meerkat, I feel like you have toffee brain. I mean, look, I mean, the fact that I'm functioning, the fact that I'm able to work, the fact that I'm able to do business, work on my taxes is a superhuman effort. I'm burning lots of calories to do that. You'd think I'd be losing weight. But yeah, it's if it was just a chest cold, it would just be a cold, but this is sinus. It's stuck in the sinuses. So, but I do have my asthma medication back. So hopefully I start taking that and it'll start clearing up. So we'll see. What we do on St. Patrick's Day? I'll work like I always do. I might have a broadcast with Professor G. Yep. Anyway, so okay, cool. All right. This managed to shake the flu. It's been nasty. Yeah, well, this one is not nasty. It's just lingering sort of thing, you know. It never got that bad, but the phlegm has been bad. Ugh. Also asked him what I did wrong. He started speaking in his language and repeated himself, and I heard the word lungu. Yeah, no, he's just a racist, whoever that guy was. Just a racist. Let them try that with me. Let them try that with me. Yep. All right, Xavier, take care. Yep, about an hour and a half here. So, wow, we've had 2,000 views at this hour. Must have been a lot of people popping on here late. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Yeah, we were 75 for a long time. We got 270 viewers currently. Wow, I didn't realize that many. Just when I thought it might be a glimmer of spring, also winter's back. Yeah, the dirty snow. Well, that sucks, but yeah. Headquarters of every witch is in Parliament is controlled by Freemasons. If you say so. Vivian, if you say so. Okay, but you don't get to type it twice. See, that's going to get you in trouble here. So remove. That's attention seeking. Okay, one time is enough. Okay, Carlos, what's going on, brother? What's going on? Anyway, yeah. So an idea to make you feel better. Generate a new song. Yeah, no, we did the pimp song. That one came out pretty good. I need another song that comes out good like the Iranian Navy. That was really good. Yeah, Justin the girl said a lot of people miss the night owls. I know I have, but you do need some rest. Okay. Well, when I get off here, you got flu in the plane. That's a great place to get it, Broken Arrow. Yep. Yeah, but wearing a mask on a plane is not going to keep you from getting the flu. Trust me, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. that isn't going to do the trick. Yeah. The way you're going to get the flu on the flight is if someone touches your seat or touches you, or someone next to you is hacking up and blowing particles. But people behind you, you're probably not going to get it. People other rows, you're not going to get it. Yep. All right, take care, Nikki Hayton. We are mixing ACC 200. It helps a lot of healing the immune system. Well, I think somebody said it clearly on my daytime broadcast. They said if you take cold and flu medication, the flu lasts. If you don't take cold and flu medication, the flu will last 2 weeks, 14 days. If you take cold and flu medication, the flu will last 14 days. Yeah, because it doesn't stop the flu. Your body does that. So, yeah. But I'm going to take something now to try to get rid of the phlegm. Yep. So, anyway. The good thing about feeling crappy is if you feel crappy, then you're not inclined to go infect other people. But if you start taking medication to mask the symptoms, you're still sick. And you think you're healthy. Or you're thinking getting healthier and you're still spreading the virus. I'm trying to protect as many people as possible. Yeah. St. Patrick's Day parade can be quite interesting, especially in Chicago. Chicago has a huge St. Patrick's Day parade. It's a big deal there. Yep. Well, you can get away from the flu. I've had a pretty robust immune system, constitution, and when I exercise, pretty much I fight the stuff off. But I mean, I think one reason why some people have had it very bad, this strain of the flu, but I have not had it very badly because I think a lot of the deal is my constitution's fighting it off pretty well. Yeah, they just treat the symptoms. Yep. I'm supposed to leave soon. Had no confirmation email from CWS. U.S. agents, let me know when I arrive in USA. Going to miss the flight if they don't communicate. Okay, soon means nothing to me at all, Varushka. Soon means nothing. What do you mean you're supposed to leave soon? Do you have tickets? If you don't have tickets, then you're not supposed to leave soon. So I don't understand what you're talking about. You're not going to miss any flight if you don't have tickets. So what are you saying? You need to be clear. Because I get people to tell me, I'm supposed to leave soon. I got a message telling me to leave in 2 to 4 weeks. You're not leaving soon. That's nonsense. So what are you talking about? I need more information, Varushka. You have tickets already? If you have tickets, then what are you worried about? No, Harley, that's a myth. That's not what that means. That word comes from West Africa and it's worked its way through through those languages. We have decongestants in America too. Oh wow, Ant's birthday. Hey Ants, how's it going, man? There's an OG. Get the cake ready. Okay, Ants, remind me on St. Patrick's Day. I just want to find out, was there a few White House cars that did come back? No, it's a lie. Nobody came back. Nobody came back. Who are these people that came back? The people that came back are people that live in America for 20 years. They have nothing to do with the refugee program. And while they came back, a handful of people came back, more people left South Africa outside the refugee program than came back. Stop falling for the fake media. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. And you know, Leon Schreiber's part of this scam. He's all part of it now. Yeah, your daughter got caught saying 2 to 4 weeks and she waited 13 weeks. Exactly. Oh, Amazing Yacht Destinations has also the 17th of March as birthday. All right, guys. Well, we'll try to remember your birthday when it's time here. That'd be cool. Yeah, I guess I'm a little bit better, but I don't know if I'm better to call the games. I'm going to try it, though. Oh, well, Loretta, you're a little bit late. Those are my tulips. I've got purple ones on... Well, pink ones on this side and purple ones on that side. Yep. Purple, pink. Yep. And when they come up, they'll match the baskets that they're in. So, yep. U.S. agent contact me, let me know that when I arrive, he will meet me at the airport. Okay, what is the flight date, Verushka? What is the flight date? HMPV. No. A lot of Southern groups are spreading lies on Facebook. Yes, they are. They are spreading it. Lots of South Africans are spreading lies. March 23rd. Oh, you've got 9 days. No panic yet, Verushka. If you don't hear anything in 4 days, then let me know, okay? Let me know in 4 days. Today is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. If you haven't heard by Tuesday, then let me know, and then we'll see, okay? There's no reason to panic. 23rd is not for another, yeah, that's over a week away. Yeah. No reason to panic yet. How many words per minute can you read? It seems like you can speed read. Yeah, no, I can speed read when I need to. But comprehension is much better when I take my time. Pat says, I've been having interactions this week with others and can see the left news affecting realities. It's difficult for me to change the perception, so I opt to. Yeah, just let them be. Look, we can't help people who want to be stupid. People want to be stupid and read Cockprock24, IOL, Daily Maverick, and all these bullshit artists, Newsroom Africa, SABC, New York Times, Washington Post, read their lies and fall for them. That's on them. That's on them. Ladies and gentlemen, the Stoltz family is real. What happened to them is real. Their arrival in America is real. Their children are real. These are real people. Thea von Straten is a real person, despite the lies that are spread by the Sunnyside, detective. The people I've interviewed are real people. They're really here. Anthony and Elvira are real coloreds. They're here. The Indians I've interviewed are real Indians. The blacks I've interviewed are real blacks. The Afrikaners I've interviewed are real Afrikaners. They're all here. The vast majority of them are doing exceedingly well. I've just heard from another family that's moving from Kentucky to South Carolina because the spouse got a very good job in South Carolina. So they're relocating like Americans do. And so they're in the process of disengaging from their experience in Kentucky and moving to South Carolina. I've talked to families that have left Portland and moved to Nevada, Texas, and Idaho for better opportunities. And of course, the families, we had an interview with a family on here from the 59ers who bought a home already. 4 months ago, bought a home. Hadn't even been here a year. Bought a home. Talk about something special. I've come in contact with multiple South Africans who have nicer vehicles than I have. Some are struggling. Yes, that's true. But that's honesty and objectivity in reporting. None of them have gone back. That's a lie. And nearly 3,500 had arrived here by the end of February. That's a fact. They can't cover these facts up. They can't lie about it. Well, they can lie all they want, but the truth is here. We can show them the truth all day long. If people want to be stupid and believe the bullshit they hear, then that's on them. These are the same people who are dumb enough to vote for the same people over and over again. Just want to say God bless you, sir, for what you're doing and bringing the truth out about the corruption in this country. You're a hero. Well, thank you, David Thorne. Not everybody thinks I'm a hero. Okay, Verushka, thank you. Okay, but don't let me forget, Verushka. But I think you'll probably have it by Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday evening you'll probably have it. But if not, then there's time to intervene Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, work days to get something done. All right? No, Utopi Light Rain is not the only mod here. CB is also here. Ha ha ha. And Charles Van Onselen is here too, unless I've taken Charles's mod away. I don't remember if I did that. White Army needs a leader, tip top. Thank you for excellent good work. Thank you, everyone else, for inspiration. Irish grandfather told me that God created whiskey so the Irish would not rule the world. Well, strangely enough, in Amish country in Ohio, many, many years ago, I bought a wooden plaque that has a lovely German phrase in it, which I've never heard the Germans say, but it's in German. Im Himmel gibt's kein Bier, darum trinken wir es hier. Which means in heaven there's no beer. That's why we drink it here. In Amish country, of all places. Yep. If you want to start over, you'll make it work. Anything is better than being here. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Wasting patience, says Ronell. Also got very lucky, so blessed beyond belief, truly a golden ticket. Yeah, no, look, I mean, some South Africans are doing exceedingly well. I mean, look, there are South Africans who've come over who make more money than I do. And I have no envy. Well done on them. I'm the one sitting here. I'm passing up $230,000 a year jobs to do this and help veterans. That's my choice. But yeah, so I have no envy against that. But then those people can super chat all they like. Would you say, in your opinion, majority of South Africans that went to US are already doing? Yes, I would say the majority are, Loretta. Yes, there are some struggling, but some of those people are going to struggle all the way. I mean, look at the lady who called me 87 times and very rudely, disrespectfully relocated somewhere else and never had the courtesy to tell me. Screw her and screw the broom she rode in on. She's very disrespectful and rude. There's another lady that someone's been very helpful for, paid for all kinds of things, helped the person relocate, and they've been treating people like dirt. There are just some people that are losers, and unfortunately, some of them are South Africans, and some of those losers are coming over here in the program. It's really sad to see, but it's true. Yep, there are just some people that lose. Other people are not losers, but they get screwed. They get screwed because they get put in a very bad situation with crappy. We already know of at least 2 case officers, possibly 3 case officers have been fired because of my direct intervention. Virginia, Rochester, and Austin, Texas. 3 refugee case officers that I'm aware of have been fired because I've intervened over the past few months. Yep, and there's Ronell. She's also moderator. Yep. Yep. Yeah, we are Legion. That's right. That's right, Light Rain. We are Legion. Yep. There's a place under the sun for all types of people in America. Yeah, even jihadists, apparently. Yeah, Proudly Bormeister says, good morning, taxpayers are leaving. It's finally starting to sink in. Yep. Yep. When are up to it, I did WhatsApp you about the WhatsApp group to see if or how we can help anyone. Well, I know people ask me to put them in a group. There is a group. It's not my group. I'd have to ask, and I have to feel better. We'll see. Okay. Yep. Hey, Neil Krug, what's going on in Zambia, man? Northern Rhodesia. What's up, Northern Rhodesia? Without you, I'm sure we as South Africa will be totally lost in this process. Your news and interviews with the refugees are helping me loads and keeping me patient. All right, Ronell. Well, yeah, not to mention my Senior Fund Rensburg-like predictions throughout the past year have been pretty much spot on. Despite people lying about me and disparaging my character and making false claims. And look, I'm still here, aren't I? I'm still here, still talking about this, and still talking about the news of South Africa and Benin and Ghana and Namibia and Mozambique and Mauritius and Myanmar and Communist China and Tyrol and the United States. Yep, I'm still here. Anyway, hey Cindy, what's going on? Cindy the happy one. That would be Cindy who got the divorce, would it? Colonel, I got to say that my dad's interviewer was an amazing human being. I don't doubt that at all. Yep. Trump candidate, been listening a while. Just thought I'd say morning. I haven't had an opinion for a while. We'll see you soon in the States. We're ready for departure. Was just waiting for someone that is linked. Okay, cool. Yes, that's Cindy. We made a song for Cindy. Cindy, we made that song for Cindy. Were you guys here? Do you guys remember that? Let me see if I can find that real quick. Hang on a second here. Let me get to that very quickly. Cindy got divorced and she was very happy about it. So we made songs that night. That was fun. Cindy, how are things going, by the way? How are things going? Yeah, I think it was this one we went with. Oh, the jihadists don't count? Okay. Maybe on St. Patrick's Day. Depends.
She signed the papers just this morning. Toss that ring.
Oh, wow, you're in New Jersey. You brought kids?
Hit the town, she's done with that. Cindy's got a smile, boys, that's shining bright. She's dancing in the neon light. Cindy's free today, oh, Cindy's free today. The past is gone, she's on her way. New road to take, new skies to see. Hey, fellas, you might just be her cup of tea. Cindy's free today, oh, Cindy's free today. She's trading heartache for a jukebox tune, spinning round under a silver moon. The weight is gone, she's feeling like freedom's calling.
You gonna do an interview with me, Cindy?
Got her eyes
do a refugee interview?
Tomorrow, her heels on the floor, Cindy stepping out, looking for more. Life's too short to sit and cry. yesterday. The world's wide open, she's got the key. Oh, Cindy's free. Cindy's free.
That was fun. That was fun. Yeah, remember that. So, Sydney, you going to give me an interview? Remember that morning, Colonel, she was going to court today. Yeah, as I recall, exactly. I think she just got divorced that day. So that's... And the kids are there. That's awesome, Sydney. Cindy, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. Yeah, an interview would be a lot of fun. That'd be cool. Yeah, so what I'm going to have to do is remind folks who've already agreed to interviews next week if I'm feeling better so we can get them set up. Do I recall correctly that if you guys started hitting and Cindy and they say, I don't know if that, I don't remember if that happened, Meerkat. I don't remember if that happened or not. Yep. So she's over here in America now. Well, congratulations. Welcome to America, Cindy. Yep. Wow. It's always a cool name, Cindy. Anyway, it's kind of cool. Well, that's good to see. She's not committing. You notice that she's remaining non-committal. I've asked her to do the interview. She went silent. Knight of Justice, what's going on, brother? Yep. Suspicious people don't understand Islam, leading them to believe the U.S. is bullying around, but history and current events show a different side. Yep. Well, I understand Islam. I've lived in Muslim countries, and I have Muslim friends, and I've studied the Quran. Yep. Loretta said, Loretta wants to know how long you were married. Oh, she'll do an interview. Yay! There we go, Cindy. Send me an email, please. Send me an email. Put up the email, mods. So she's got the email address. All right. And put interview in the title so I can find it. That girl from the scary movie. Well, Cindy Williams from Laverne and Shirley. Shamil, Shamazel, Hoff and Seth Incorporate. We're going to do it. Married 9 years. Oh, that's an easy out, man. 9 years is easy out. You get to 18 or 20 or 25, then that becomes a teeth breaker. Oh, it should be a great interview. Yeah, Cindy, we're going to talk about the song, how excited she was. That was really cool. We made that song for her that night. Remember how excited she was? Oh, Just Other Girls definitely watching out for that interview. Also, Cindy, it'll be a different angle here. It'll be a case of, we've done so many different angles. That's why I tell people every case is different. Every case is different. Every case is different. And so we've had almost every case, we've had something different pop up here. So, from one thing to another, Knight of Justice, heat wave. Okay. There it is. Thank you, Renell, for putting that up. So, yeah. Anyway, hey, Colonel Chris, glad to see you're feeling much better. Just an update with an email from RC says prepare to fly 246. Believe me, it can't happen. I didn't say it can't. So, okay, are you here? Are you trying to tell us you're here now or you have tickets? All right. Oh, you've been here for a month, Cindy. Where have you been hiding at? How's your transition going? Is it going okay? You don't have to answer all that was saved for the interview, but so Sanj, are you telling me that you're already here or you have tickets? I didn't say it wouldn't happen in 2 to 4 weeks. I said you have to be prepared. That's why they give the email. I said, but it can go much longer. The problem is when people believe it's going to happen in 2 to 4 weeks and it doesn't, then they get pissed off. So you have to have realistic expectations. Yes, Loretta, you get 25 years, it becomes much more. But ironically, when you get to 40 or 50 years, it becomes easier because people grow apart and they get older and just, they're both older and they can split their assets and they move on or whatever, So, yeah. Oh, my goodness. 31 years, says Celia Kruger. Wow, that's a long time there, lady. It's a long time. Okay. Martin Fundemev, what's going on, man? Absolute weak support for Iran, Cuba, no flights over Taiwan. They also gave no support to Venezuela, Light Rain. Yeah, they are seeing their place in the new order. Exactly. Trump is putting them down a peck. And what's happening? Xi Jinping is wiping out all the military leadership. The Chinese People's Army, Liberation Army will not have any competent leadership at its senior level here very soon. This isn't quite as bad as what the Soviets did in 1936, assassinating 70,000 officers, but they're cutting the head off the Chinese military. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. So that is going sideways for them. Going sideways. Yep. Anyway, gosh, what time is it? It is 12:41. My goodness, I realized that late. All right, I'm going to have to wrap up here soon. Cindy, I'm very glad to hear that you and the kids are here. That's good for you. And you've been here for a month, so obviously you're adjusting well. Good to see you back on the stream. I think the only 2 times I've ever seen in the stream was when we wrote the song for you that night and tonight when you told us there's the email address. It was published. Please send me an email. Doesn't have to be soon. I just got to start lining up some more interviews. Remember, folks, I will be at the War College, not this coming week, but the following week. And then I'm in Las Vegas. Vegas, baby. Yep, I'll be in Vegas for 4 days, 27 to 31. That's really 5 days, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Yeah, 5 days. 5 days I'll be in Vegas, yep. Oh, you're here every night. Okay, well, Cindy, but you're quiet. So that's the thing. We have a lot of quiet people watching the show. Right now, there are 283 people watching the show, according to YouTube, but only about 40 people chatting. So, yeah. All right, cool. I'm glad to see you've been here every night, Cindy. All right, cool. Yeah, well, we look forward to it. I'm excited to hear about that interview now, Cindy, because there's so much we want to unpack. I just know. I remember we made that song that night. That was so much fun. And I sent it to you, didn't I, Cindy? There were 2 versions. I thought I sent it. Remember what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Yeah, that's a myth. That's a myth. How's that Bricks troll? That was only a couple months ago. I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, so Second Chance USA also still here. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, and it's great. You guys in the States, yeah, I did send it to you. I thought so, Cindy. Yep. And there's the email. So again, don't get married before the interview. Yeah. So, what I've told people is when people in the U.S. watch my stream, so let me take a look and see if the numbers are changing here. I'm curious about that analytics, if the viewership has gone up in the U.S. because people are here, or if they're still using South African accounts. Audience, let's take a look and see. So where are my viewers from? Come on. No, the numbers aren't bumping up, probably because you're still using South African accounts, but that's fine, even though it's U.S. IP addresses. Still says mostly South Africa, but that number is going to change. But you're here in the U.S. and you're going to get ads curated based on your IP address that you're here in the States, and so that generates more money. And the proof of the pudding in that is that even though my viewership was not really great since it's been this week, Saturday 34,000 views, that's terrible. Sunday 29,000, 34,000 Monday, 31,000 Tuesday, 36,000 Wednesday, 45 on Thursday. That's the best one. But 30, 40,000 is terrible. You usually have 150,000 a given day. But even with that low level of viewership, revenue for ads has been consistent this week because people are watching from the States, and it makes a difference. It makes a difference. Yep. It does make a difference because ads in the States pay a lot more money. So, I mean, I'm not making a ton of money. Don't get it wrong. But what I'm saying is that the ad revenue has been, it's been, the membership has there too because people can give out a lot of memberships. But the ad revenue has been consistent, mostly because people are now here in the States. So it does help. So cool beans. All right. BRICS is not the New World Order. It never was going to be. It's just an acronym, and there's no agreements. There's no treaties. No nothing between them. All right, cool beans. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I've got to set up for the rugby. I'm going to try to do the rugby on Rugby Senate in the morning. Bulls and Stormers at Loftus at 8 o'clock my time. Currently 6 hours behind South Africa, so that's going to make it 2 o'clock. Yep, 2 o'clock there. So yep, and then after that, Scotland and Ireland from Aviva Stadium in Dublin. All right, you guys take care. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. And I'll see you in the morning, hopefully. And hopefully I'll feel better than I do right now. And you're welcome for the night owls. Hopefully we can get back to them regularly. If I'm feeling better tomorrow night, no promise. I might do one tomorrow night just because I haven't done them the last couple of days, but I can't promise that, okay? My daughter has been accepted, so we'll be a refugee in Utah, hopefully. She asked for the area because we are here to help her. I'd like to help her if others can. Okay. All right. You guys are U.S. residents, and now your daughter's coming over as a refugee. Okay, cool. All right. Thanks. You left your name and cell number, I assume, in an email? You guys don't tell me how you send me information. You got to let me know so I know where to look. Visiting USA from September, December, Chattanooga, Birmingham, and Chicago. Okay, cool. We probably won't see any in Chicago, but you'll see some in Birmingham and probably Chattanooga, too. All right, guys. Cheers. Have a good night.